Hey guys, Mr. Free Hero here. In today's video, we will be focusing on the LStar and generally what I think about it and whether it's good, bad, or whether it's just a general garbage weapon. So sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. So, the LStar is a heavy machine gun with infinite ammo and no reload. Instead of reloads though, it overheats if fired for too long. Now, generally you don't want it to overheat because the mechanism, when it does overheat for that mechanism, it takes a long time for it to get back into action. Now, I believe that you can switch to another weapon and it will basically be ready and prepared, but try and be more precise with your shots, or generally try and not go full auto weapon. Try and burst with it if you can. So for me, the weapon isn't great at long distances through playing and practicing with it compared to the Spitfire or Devotion, but in up close to medium fights it can tear and is very accurate when hip fired. For a heavy machine gun, that doesn't really make sense. And I've also noticed that it can tear up really good even if it doesn't have the gun runner perk. Like, you can just hip fire generally and it will still do good damage, compared to if you ADS, you're going to be doing, say, rarely much damage or even land any shots whatsoever. Now, the problem with the weapon for me is that when you aim down sight, it feels like most of your shots won't connect unless you're quite close. And ADSing at long distances isn't worth the effort, since players are able to sidestep and you'll be doing at least a small to not even that noticeable amount of damage before finishing you off, or before they get the catch on you. So ideally, when you use this weapon, don't use it for long distance fights. Use it for close and medium fights. And while you're at it, try and avoid ADSing unless you know you can get the person, because through a lot of plays and practice with it, I've noticed that if I ADS, 1, it's a lot more shots I have to land. 2, the weapon overheats before I could put all my rounds in. And 3, if the person just sidesteps just a bit, they'll be able to dodge most of my shots, or they'll be able to react quick enough and finish me off. So that's why the weapon's kind of situational when being used. Also, every time you fire the weapon, it has a 2-second pause before you fire it again, making it very annoying when it comes to snapping onto targets one after another. Now, when you snap onto targets, like when you use your auto aim, it's quite easy. But the problem what I found is that when you snap onto a relative target, and say you kill that target, your weapon will have a 2-second pause. Now, this 2-second pause can be either life and death of you, especially if it's a pilot or 2 pilots in one area. If the pilot you killed and there's another pilot next to that person you just killed sees you and catches on, you won't be able to finish that person off quickly enough unless by just some luck you're able to take them out just before they see you, by even getting up close and milling them, using a secondary or whatever arsenal you have available for you. And then this begs the question, why would you want to use a weapon if it has that effect? Considering that I can use Spitfire or Devotion that don't have a 2-second delay, and they react much quicker, and they allow me to take out people in a quick amount of time. Well, Spitfire wise is kind of debatable, but Devotion wise, you can see where I'm coming from. Now, for a heavy machine gun, it's quite terrible and situational. But what I found with using the weapon is that to use it, you want to use it like an SMG, so hip fire as much as you can. The weapon is terrible when you ADS, but when it's hip fired, you become more successful than ever, strangely enough. So ideally, any class and ordnance is fine for an ideal build around this weapon. The perks you should run should either be tactical, so you can get your tactical ability back up quickly. Gun runner, so that every time you're on the move and you hip fire, your weapon is going to be as accurate as if you were ADSing. Or gun ready, so that when you aim, so that the moment you aim down sight, it'll be much quicker compared to other people who will have like maybe a second delay behind you, where you'll be able to land the first shots compared to the person that won't be able to land the first shot. Now, your kits can be anything you feel confident in, but if you don't know what to pick, then go with tactical ordnance. So this basically will allow you to get your grenades, or generally your grenades or any ordnance like fire, star, gravity storm, all that up much quicker. Or you can go with power cell. That depends on the class wise. So if you're going to be using the Sonar Blade class, go with that. Or if you're going to be using the Cloak class, go with that. If you don't go Power Cell, there's always other options, because ideally there's not really much of a build based around it. And also, one other thing I've noticed, do not whatsoever add the ACOG scope. As personally to me, I feel it's clunky, I feel inaccurate when ADSing. Instead, try using no scope or the highlight scope. It's highlight or thermal scope, I keep forgetting the name of it. But try going with the thermal or no scope whatsoever, as it allows you to, if you are going to ADS, it allows you to actually see more clearer, see if someone's on your left side or right. Or you go with the thermal scope, that will allow you to highlight targets much easier. But like I said, do not whatsoever go with the ACOG scope, because the ACOG scope is too big and bulky, and the magnification is quite strong for such a weapon that it doesn't really feel much of a heavy machine gun. Now, if you use the ACOG scope, use it on the Spitfire or use it on Devotion, but don't whatsoever use it for the LStar. LStar to me does not feel like a heavy machine gun. It feels too much of an SMG, but maybe I'm playing it wrong. Who knows? Lastly, before you go ahead and use a weapon, do try out Bounty Hunter first, so you can get quite comfortable with it. Now, Bounty Hunter will allow you to rack up AI kills, and thus upgrade your weapon. Plus, enemy pilots are predictable within certain maps, so it will be good to learn how to advance and how to back off when need be. Once you're comfortable with the weapon, take your build, or the ideal weapon, into pilot versus pilot, and see how effective you are against real players. Now, the only reason I recommended to play in Bounty Hunter is, like I mentioned before, AIs will allow you to rack up kills with the weapon, but also allow you to upgrade the weapon much easier. But also, it allows you to be more area focused. So when you have point A and point B showing, you can focus on point A with your team and rack up kills. And then you'll know, for example, if an enemy's coming to your area, if sample point B has been cleared. You know enemies clear point B, that means they're coming to you. This will basically give you enough time to be more prepared and know how to counter them. Plus, it will allow you to actually sneak up behind them, and then when you do feel ready, go into pilot versus pilots and test the weapon out. The only thing I will say is that it really does depend on the maps. If you want to play on Exoplanet, for example, truthfully, I recommend that you try to stay on the roofs, or try to stick with your teammates as closely as possible. But if you're going to play it on Complex or Crash Site, for example, you'll probably have a more better chance. But like I said, from long distances, the weapon isn't great, but when you hit fire, it does extremely more better than usual. So generally, the LStar is a heavy machine gun that I feel that it kind of needs to be buffed. Ideally, it needs to be buffed so that it's effective from long range at long ranges too. But in the current state it's effective, but not effective to the point of like the other heavy machine guns available. Why would I use the LStar if I can use the Spitfire or use Devotion, where they're capable of taking people out from long distances quite easily? This is the problem with LStar. The LStar is good, but because of the 2-second break it has between each shots, and the fact that it can overheat quite quickly, and the fact that if you ADS you feel a bit more slower and not guaranteed chance that you'll kill the person, it feels like a weapon. It feels more like a novelty weapon, a weapon that's not really meant to be used in, say, competitive play. It's more meant to be used for fun, and that's probably what the designers at Respawn were trying to go with. They're trying to make this weapon just, you know, something to play around with and be fun, and not something to be serious with. So generally, yeah, it's an alright weapon. I would recommend that you play around with it, test it, see how you feel personally about the weapon, and then maybe if that's the case, play around with your class. Find a class that pretty much suits it. Play around with it, and then see how good it is. Because generally, this weapon could actually be, you know, one of the second best heavy machine guns, or generally it could just be a terrible weapon like the R97. But who knows? So that's the end of the video. I do hope you enjoyed the rest of the video. If you did, leave a like for more. If you didn't, leave a dislike. And I hope to see you again soon. Thank you for watching.